Man, so it's been a minute. But we're back. Who would I be, right? What kind of coach would I be if I didn't constantly give you guys the keys, right? In not only fitness, but in every area of your life. Because I tell you guys all the time, right? Fitness is just the gateway to the success that you want, right? But I'm going to continue to tell you how fitness is going to affect you in different areas of your life so that you can understand why it's important to start, okay? But that's not the purpose of today's video. I had a thought dawned on me while I was in the gym lifting weights, right? I literally was about to start a workout that I don't like doing. Like, for example, I don't like hitting rear delts, right? It's the most boring workout to do. Right? It's not like chest. It's not like shoulders, right? It's not like arms. Those are exciting muscle groups, right? To train because people notice it off the bat, right? If you got nice looking arms, right? Like myself, right? People are going to notice off the rip. And when you have a nice chest, like myself, okay, the camera won't show you. When you have a nice chest like myself, people notice that kind of shit. But people don't just say out of nowhere, yeah, George, look at your nice rear delts, right? No one says that. That would be kind of weird. I'd be kind of like, bro, what the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, the point is, I didn't feel like working out and hitting rear delts, right? In chest. I feel like hitting chest, but I didn't feel like hitting rear delts. But after I hit that muscle group, after I did all the workouts that I was supposed to do, I felt more fulfilled, right? I felt more fulfilled. You will not feel fulfilled unless you start doing and filling out the tasks that you have to do every single day that you don't like doing, right? Every time I did something that I truly did not want to do, right? I was like, man, I don't feel like going to the gym today. Fuck, I don't feel like waking up at 5 a.m. today. Fuck, I don't feel like eating that healthy food right there or eating that protein, drinking that protein shake right there to hit my protein intake. Every time I did those things, every time, literally every time, it hasn't missed. All right, it hasn't failed me. Every time I went the extra mile, posted a video like this, every time I went the extra mile and gave that client exactly what they needed, every time I went the extra mile and did something that I truly did not want to do, that's when I truly felt fulfilled at the end of the day. Right? That's when I felt satisfied. That's when the anxiety disappeared. Right? When I started consistently doing the things that I didn't want to do, that I don't want to do. There's a lot of tasks day to day that I don't want to do. Right? Sometimes I don't want to check in with clients. Sometimes I don't. Right? I'm not saying that's an everyday thing, but I don't want to check in with them every day all the time. But I continue to do it because I understand that it's important to their success. Right? I don't want to work out every single day. My joints hurt, lower back hurt, my body is sore, but I still show up, right? Even when I don't want to. Sometimes I don't feel like shooting these videos, right? But I still show up and shoot these videos. Why? Because every time I show up, even when I don't want to, right? I feel more fulfilled. I feel more satisfied. And in the moment, all right, I temporarily not think about all of life's stresses. Okay, I don't. Like as I'm shooting this video right here, I don't notice anything else, right? I'm not thinking about bills. I'm not thinking about the next thing that I have to do. I'm focused on this right here, right? This message that I have to get across to you. Okay? Because I know that this message will change your life because it changed my life, right? Now just think about it. And if you don't think that I'm right about this, I want you to try it out for yourself. The next time you don't want to go to the gym, right? Which is going to probably be very soon. Still go and push yourself harder, right? When you don't want to go. And then after you go to the gym, assess how you feel. Like assess how you feel, bro. Right after you leave the gym, right? Doing a workout that you didn't want to do and you finished it and completed it and pushed yourself. I want you to assess how you feel after that workout. How do you feel, bro? Do you feel energized, motivated, fulfilled, satisfied, knowing that you pushed yourself even when you didn't want to? As a man, right? And as a human being, right? Just in general, we are conditioned right, to want to acquire a lot of things. I want to acquire that next car. I want to acquire that next condo. I want to acquire that next, if you're single, that next, my next girlfriend that looks better than my ex, right? I want to acquire, right, certain materialistic things such as designer, Gucci, all that kind of stuff. But life is not about that. That's not going to fulfill you. Every time I got something materialistic, I was only satisfied in the moment, temporarily for a few hours, right? Like I've been obsessing over getting a Rolex, right? But I understand that as the second that I get that Rolex, I'm going to be hype about it for a couple hours. And then two or 3 days later, I'm going to be like, okay, I got the Rolex. What's next? Right? That's just how we are as humans. The only thing that satisfies men, right? That satisfies men is doing things that we don't want to do, right? And completing them. Because that shows discipline. Look, discipline and routine and structure is attractive to men, right? Real men, right? Men look at other men with discipline, right? And they are like, man, that guy got discipline. See, women don't really look at that kind of stuff and they don't get turned on by that. They really don't, right? But men see other men who are disciplined and they're like, man, I need that. It's just like it's like something that us men look at another man like, okay, he's on his shit. He's disciplined. He's in shape. That's why men, right? That's why when you get in shape, a lot of men start talking to you more, start congratulating you because they understand the discipline that it took to get that physique that you currently have, right? They understood that you had to keep on showing up even when you didn't want to, okay? Even when you didn't want to acquire that physique, right? But it's the process of becoming. It was the process of going to the gym even when you didn't want to. It was the process of consistently over and over again eating the same foods to get the body that you want to get. Hitting those steps even when you didn't fucking want to. That got that physique. So I want you to ask yourself, right now. I want you to really ask yourself. And I really want you to assess. If you're not feeling fulfilled in the moment, right? It's because you've been gifted with certain tasks that's going to change your life. You've been gifted with uncomfortable situations, such as the gym, such as starting that content that you're supposed to be starting, that business, whatever. You've been gifted with the things that are going to change your life. But since you're so addicted to your comfort zone, you do not take action on the things that are going to change your life and put you in a better situation. So that's going to leave you unfulfilled, right? That's going to leave you unsatisfied. That's what's going to leave you anxious, curious, doubtful, right? Of yourself, not confident within self, right? That's what I mean by unfulfilled, okay? Not confident as you should be, doubtful, anxious, worried, all right? Kind of scared. Right? That is what I call unfulfilled, right? Not knowing, right, really what you're set to do, right? On this earth. You know what to do. You're just not doing it. You're just unwilling to break through that comfort zone and it's leaving you unfulfilled. So the next task that you see, literally the next task that you see, okay, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's whatever, I want you to look at that task, right? Not as, oh my God, I have to do this shit again. Oh my God, bro, like I have to go to the gym again. I don't want you to look at it like that. I want you to look at it as, okay, this is the test. This is the test. This is what separates, right? This is what separates the people that get what they want in life versus the people that don't. The people that get what they want out of life, they get the life that they dreamed of. They get the physique that they dreamed of, the money that they want, the girl that they want, the relationship, the friendships, all that kind of stuff. They get it because when they're hit with inconvenience, when they're hit with an uncomfortable situation, they still act. People that don't get the things that they want, right, and settle, when they're hit with an inconvenient moment, when they're hit with a uncomfortable moment, they pause, think, and then talk themselves out of the blessing that has just presented itself. A lot of you guys really don't understand that there's a lot of opportunities out here in the world for you. There's so many opportunities. You're one person, like you're one conversation away from changing your life. You're one conversation away from signing your first client, right, in your business. You're one talk away, one conversation away, right, to talking to the person that can help you start a business. You're one conversation away, right, with someone who can help you get in the best shape of your life, right, if that's your goal. I literally was in the gym today and I was talking to a guy, and I talk to this guy all the time. I literally talk to this guy all the time. But I was literally, like, the last couple months, like, I've literally been trying to find a church home for me and my girl, right? One that's close and one that's not too far, one that's in my hometown. And this guy that I talk to every day, right? I didn't even realize he was a pastor. I'm talking to every day, bro. Like, he's a pastor. And I'm like, oh man. He's like, yeah, man, I'm a pastor. And I'm like, this gotta be a sign from God. I'm like, man, bro, I didn't even know you were a pastor, bro. Like, I've been looking for a church home. Where's your church at? For me and my girl, right? And then he said, oh yeah, my church is here, blah, blah, blah. And it's not far from my home. All it took was one conversation. Because in the morning, I'm gonna be very rude with you guys. I don't like to talk in the morning. I don't like to talk. I just like to go into the gym and get out. I really do. But I was like, hey, I'm gonna break out my comfort zone. I woke up, got my morning routine out the way, so I'm in a good state. I'm gonna go into the gym and I'm gonna be social, right? I'm gonna be a little bit more social. And since I broke out of my comfort zone, I found a church home for me and my girl, right? A potential church home, right? With people that go to my gym, and that's not too far. I've gotten so many clients out of the gym that I go to, right? Because I'm an online fitness coach. I've gotten so many clients that I've just connected with by simply being social with them and giving them value. Literally, I've signed people up on the spot with my coaching, right? On the spot in the gym, in front of the other trainers. That it's crazy because I told my girl about this. I was like, man, I'm signing more clients in this gym than the trainers that work here do, right? But I signed people on right in front of me. I'm signing people like in the gym, credit card and everything, right? In the gym, simply because I'm being social and I'm providing them with value every single day, like I'm providing you with value, right? That's why content is so crazy, right? But if you want that fulfillment, okay, I'm going to give you some actionable steps. If you watched for this long, I promise you, this is going to be actionable steps, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to, and I'm going to talk more in depth about this in another video, but I want you to craft your morning process, your morning routine. I want you to do it every single day, okay? And then when you are done with your morning process and you go out into the world, I don't want you to be a person who isolates themselves. The enemy loves isolation because the enemy can destroy you in isolation, okay? I want you to, instead of isolating yourself and not talking to anybody, because now one thing that I've started committing to doing is not having headphones on in the gym, because that blocks me out from everybody else and that isolates me from everybody else. I can't be social and I can't interact with people that way. I'm forcing myself to interact by having no headphones, right? I want you to, go out into the world, and I want you to be social and meet someone new. One person new every single day. I know that's a hard task, okay? I know that's a hard task, but I just want you to be more social, right? Because especially if you're trying to be a business owner one day, or you want to work for yourself, if you think you're going to have a business without talking to people, you're utterly fucking mistaken. If you have aspirations of being a content creator one day, like you want to create content, and you think that you don't have to talk, if you think you're going to be a content creator and not talk to nobody, you are utterly fucking mistaken. So you have to build that skill. You need to start breaking out of your comfort zone. So start with the morning process, okay? I'm going to teach you in another video how to create your morning process. You can steal mine. I don't give a fuck, right? Create your morning process. Get in the right state of mind early in the morning. Then right after that morning process, right? When you go out into the world, whether that's at the gym, whether that's at work, I want you to engage in conversation with other human beings, because you're just one conversation away, right? You're one conversation away from getting that fulfillment that you want. And every time you're gifted with an inconvenient moment, every time you're gifted with like a uncomfortable moment, right? I want you to attack it head on. I don't want you to think, should I do it or not? Should I do it? Should I do it? No, I don't want you to think. Just as long as it's not going to destroy your morals or anything like that, or it's going to make you like, let's be realistic. Don't do something that's going to make you utterly fucking broke. But like, if it's within reason, do it. Just think real quick. Okay, I'm going to do it. Act. Okay, act. Unfulfillment happens and unhappiness happens due to not enough action. When you're in your head too much and you overthink too much, you're going to be unfulfilled. Start acting more, and you will start feeling a sense of happiness and joy and fulfillment, right, bro? Like that I can't really just explain to you. You have to just experience it, all right? So I'll catch you guys later.